Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw for Insider Travel Report, and I'm here with a familiar face. We've interviewed her before. It's Hedda Fallon, who's the CEO of Hurtigruten. And there's a lot going on with Hurtigruten today, and we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more on Insider Travel Report. Now, Hedda, first of all, it's great to see you again. And it's really almost a year since Hurtigruten launched its more premium sailings last summer. You called them at the time the Swalbar Express and the North Cape Express. How have they performed, especially with North American travelers?
Yeah, nice to see you again, James. And I would love to tell you more about how it's been going since last time, because that was we had just launched and just started the signature voyages. So that's to say the more premium ones. They are coming out from the same DNA of Hurtigruten as we have done for 130 years. Authentic Norway, using local suppliers, deep commitment to sustainability, connecting communities. But we have kind of designed our dream product in addition to the Coastal Express, where we have 7 ships sailing up and down the Norwegian coast. And really listen to the international guest and very much the North American guest in mind, that where they want a little bit of more time in port. So that's the key differentiator between the signature voyage and Coastal Express. They have 34 ports in the Coastal Express, so we see loads of beautiful small places of Norway. Both of the products go inner coastal cruising, close to shore, so because of the size of the ship and also the special permit we have with the Norwegian flag and carrying freight. But the signature voyages has been a great success because you have fewer ports, more time in port. So 6 to 8 hours once you come from North America and you really dream about seeing Lofoten, you can really immerse yourself in Lofoten for a full day with a lot of activities of your choice, if it is historic or cultural or more sport, hiking or tasting food. The itinerary is also very different. So a lot of feedback from North American guests was Oslo. We want to combine Oslo once we're in Norway, the capital. A lot of cultural boost of the capital of Norway with the Opera House and the Munch Museum, and combine that travel. So in the wintertime, the North Cape Express and the North Cape line will start in Oslo and end in Oslo. So that we are strengthening that part. And the summer season, the signature voyage goes to Svalbard. Very, very unique place, the northernmost community in the world living there. More ice polar bears than people, which is a fantastic wildlife. I think that's the biggest reflection of that we invite our guests to see based on the feedback. But a great success and building on that success. So that's what the signature voyages is all about.
First of all, tell us what's the difference between Svalbard and North Cape, and also what ship are you using on this itinerary?
Yeah. So a little bit of adjustment of name. That was to differentiate it from the Express, the original Coastal Express. Although we have discussed before, it's not really a super speedy Express. It's a slow travel, but you see a lot of ports. It's the Orient Express of the fjords, many call it, which I think was quite a nice way of talking about it.
That is it. That's an interesting, yeah, the Orient Express of the fjords.
Yeah. Because it's coming from the same, delivering mail, connecting communities, and then inviting a tourist to experience this very authentic way of living.
And what is the ship you're using on this these cruises?
So that's MS Trollfjord. I think that's what you have on your photo here. The Queen of the Sea is what she's used
I'm glad I got the right ship in that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Beautiful ship, totally fully refurbished, with both CO2 reduction measures, but also interior-wise to really reflect Scandinavian Norwegian design and classic signature voyages, whether you will really recognize that atmosphere with new F&B outlets. So the food again is core part of why you should travel with Hurtigruten. So all the F&B outlets are completely new, reflecting exactly what we want. You can select the brasserie style, or the fine dining. They get extremely good feedback on the food.
Yeah, you have a restaurant called what, Roast?
It's rest, yeah. So you see all the time from the names and the ingredients and suppliers that it's only Norwegian local specialties all through what we deliver. Local suppliers wherever it's possible. So we're pushing towards as high amount of local suppliers as possible, hyper local. That means reflecting where you are. So we say you eat yourself through Norway. So if you are in the Western Norway, you will eat scallops from that particular place with the local suppliers that delivers directly on knocking on the ship door and delivering to the kitchen. And you get a little bit of history because then you learn about the tradition of this area, why they use small scallops, how they add blue ocean food with seaweed salt, for example, in the food, etc. So you get a lot of learning and taste through Norway by eating this.
I think I can eat my way through Norway very easily on these
Yeah.
cruises. That sounds wonderful. And now you do have, and so you have what you're calling your signature sailings, the Swalbar line and North Cape line, but you're still offering what you also call the original Coastal Express, or which one to do. What would you tell them? How can you make that decision?
I think the authenticity it's on both products, and the expertise and the DNA, we kind of use that in all products. But in Europe, it's quite known, the Hurtigruten brand, and everyone have on their bucket list to do the Hurtigruten original Coastal Express in their life. But it's still a niche product in North America. For first time in Norway, we see that it's more and more popular with the signature. It's a very good way of getting introduced to Norway if you little bit more a cruise product, and as I mentioned, more times of fewer ports, but handpicked, selected the most beautiful areas of Norway, and really an opportunity to experience and get to know these areas in Senja and Lofoten, Tromsø, and places, North Cape, that people have on their bucket list, maybe have heard about, but would like to know more. And there they can select to do excursions by themselves, or more cultural, more sporty, a bit according to your taste. So for North America that really want to get to know Norway, we have seen an increasing interest for the signature product. So I think it's a good match and a good fit.
So the strategy might be, as I mentioned at the beginning, to do one of the signature sailings, and then if you want to return to Norway, try the original Coastal Express
we see
too.
more and more cross sailings actually from both those. That it might be that people have heard about the original Coastal Express first, at least in Europe, and but then both cross sailings can go both ways, and people want to come back to see a different itinerary. They might want to experience a different season. So we absolutely see that that can be the next level. And as you say, if you really want authenticity and see the real Norway,
that's what I say. This is a cruise. You want to experience a cruise that's been going on for 131 years. This is the place to do it, right?
Yeah. So we also see that those American travelers, that can be a kind of pure luxury to see such an off the beaten track area, and really see the friendly people, meet the friendly people, and see Norway in a slow, calm way that I think is good for North American tourists to take their shoulders down, relax. Things are happening in slow pace. It's no pollution, it's no light pollution, it's calm and green, and that's also a good feedback we get, that's quite appreciated these days.
Now, the two things on your cruises, everybody wants to see two things up in Norway. One is polar bears, and we'll talk about that. But the one that's really sort of taken the world by storm recently is the Northern Lights. And that's been all of a sudden, it's sort of on every traveler's bucket list these days. And why is the best way to see the Northern Lights with Hurtigruten? And when should travelers cruise to see them?
Yeah. Northern Lights is booming. The interest for Northern Lights is booming, and of course, this is due to Solar Maximus, and the next few years it is an intense probability of seeing the Northern Lights many places. Best way, Norway is of course very one of the best places to see it overall, but even better is to see it on Hurtigruten and from the seaside, because there we have even less pollution and disturbance, and it's very intense. So although myself, I've seen them many times, many places around Norway, but it's never as intense as when I'm on Hurtigruten, because then we can dim the lights, no pollution disturbance, we can move according. So if you have a bit cloudy area one place, you can move to really get absolute favorable conditions to experience the Northern Lights. So that is very high on people's bucket list these days. I understand it, it's magical, and we also have a very popular promise to our North American guests, and that is the Northern Light promise. So we are so confident that during a full round trip, you will be able to see them. So if you travel from mid-September to mid-March, we will send you back for free if you don't get to experience Northern Lights on the full round trip. So to answer your question, so fall, winter, and spring, mid-September to mid-March is the most favorable conditions, and they are lightening up the dark polar nights, where you have more blue and green in the kind of light conditions, and with the sparkling Northern Lights dancing, it's quite magical in the wintertime.
And it can always be different. As we said, I think we're talking about it, there's always a new show and a different show.
Yeah, that's a new show every evening. So from a new type of light, it can go towards the pink or the orange or green or blue or yellow, and different shapes and forms. So I get the stunned every time, I have to say. You never really get used to it. So you lose your breath every time. Yeah, it's quite cool.
Now, where I mentioned polar bears. What this is if you're going on your Swalbar cruise, right? What is the best time to see polar bears, and what?
Yeah,
you don't have a polar bears promise, do you?
Oh no polar bear promise. That's quite important, because in respect for sustainability and wildlife, we would like to experience the wildlife. We will never chase and disturb animals. So I will say it's a bonus to meet the polar bear, but you just experience a society that is built up with more polar bears than people, which is an experience in itself, because you can't walk around freely on that island without a polar bear guard that has permits to protect you.
Fantastic. Now, we're talking about wildlife. We're talking about sustainability. And I know Hurtigruten is really committed. Your company is at the forefront of the industry. Can you tell me a little bit about one particular project that really is a new industry-leading initiative you launched last month to reach zero edible food waste? What is that program?
Yes, I'd love to talk about that. It fits perfectly well with our whole sustainability program. As you mentioned, the company has been taking the forefront position for many years before sustainability became on everyone's agenda. So that makes it easier for us to keep the kind of position and push the industry. That's our objective, and really shape the travel industry in Norway is my objective. But banning heavy oil fuel, banning single use of plastic, choosing local instead of industrial all-inclusive packages where you kind of bring the food over from North America, but you rather use a local supplier. So that's very important for us, and we have a unique opportunity with this relationship. And these relationships, I think the one you mentioned, it comes from one of our very important suppliers. It's a small farm in Lofoten, where they make everything themselves ecologically on their farm, and they deliver to Hurtigruten, which gives them, of course, a huge business, because we have many ships coming so regularly and so many guests. So with 9 ships coming up and down the coasts buying the vegetables from the farm, that gives a good opportunity for them to actually keep the farm. They are so into sustainability, and together with us, we have this really recycling project where we deliver the food waste we have. There will always be food waste. Although people love our food, there will be some food waste in the producing and in the leftovers. So we take the food waste from the ship, we deliver it back to the farm. We have co-invested with them in the machine that transforms the food waste into valuable resource that they use back on their vegetables again, and we take buy the vegetables back. So it's kind of taking from waste to taste, as we say, and instead of spilling food waste over to the seaside, which is quite common to do, we take it back and we use it as a fertilizer and get the even better product when we are back on the next trip to buy new fresh vegetables.
That's a circular thing, where you're using it as fertilizer, then you get more food. But let's talk about food, because you also have what you're calling a Norwegian coastal kitchen program. Tell us a little bit about that. And I think there are two special things I want to talk to you about. But what is Norwegian coastal kitchen?
Yeah, so I mentioned the local suppliers. We want to use local suppliers wherever we can. So that's starting point number one. We have many hundreds local suppliers that help us with guiding and excursions and ship parts and everything, but we have more than 80 delivering food and drinks to us. And they can live in their community because we're coming so often and buying from them. And the win-win situation is that the quality is better and we create a positive ripple effect in the communities, and the guests love it. So the Norwegian Coastal Kitchen is really a concept based on local specialties, hyper local ingredients, and coming back to my the phrase that we use, that you can taste yourself through Norway, that you learn about Norway and our history, and you taste the specialty of the area when you sail through that area. So that's what Norway's Coastal Kitchen is all about. We have also now more and more guests that come only for the food. The real food is that.
No, it sounds like I was reading about it, and it sounds like definitely some of the food sounds amazing. And you have the world's best cheese on board. Tell us a little bit about that.
There is the World Championship of cheese, and the local farmers of Norway have won several of the cheese the last few years. So even beaten the French, and of course we serve these cheese on board.
And with cheese, of course, has to come wine. And you also have another program where you're actually submerging literally thousands of bottles of sparkling wine in the Arctic waters outside Norway. Serve the wine on board, right?
I have a fantastic team. So many creative ideas, and they are experts on food and beverage. There we were up in Sandnessjøen, where we placed bottles of sparkling wine from a good partner of us. It was part of taking off the first bottles and tasting, and great success. We had to get more bottles down. We serve that on board, of course, all signature ships, and you can also get them on throughout Hurtigruten. But yeah, great success.
No, it sounds wonderful. Now, is there anything else you want to tell our travel advisors about Hurtigruten today?
I think for when we meet the right guests in North America, I want to see an authentic experience, and want to see Norway in the most authentic way. We say live the legend of Norway, and the world's most beautiful sea voyage, and a little bit of this Orient Express feeling. They love it. So I think a bit of contrast to many other cruise voyages, and more cruise with the signature, meaning more time to experience it. But definitely our number one objective is to be absolutely the best way of showing Norway. And I think we have shown that for 130 years, and with the great success of the increasing North American market, that's our objective to be there for the North American market in the future as well.
Now, where can travel advisors go to learn more about Hurtigruten and your two specialty products, a Swalbard line and North Cape line? I believe probably just the Hurtigruten.com website, right?
I would go to Hurtigruten.com, then you'll get everything. And of course, we also have agent portals, etc. for agents. But if you go into Hurtigruten.com, you will be inspired by the local stories and the food story and the natural phenomena of the Northern Lights, midnight sun in the summer, the fjords, and the magical nature. But we can really show this up in the best way with our expertise. So we just welcome more North American guests to our ships, because that seems to be a very good match increasingly for our signature voyages. So we're very pleased with that.
But now you have really a way for North American guests to really experience a cruise, and then if they want to go back, they can go do the original. But Svalbard line and North Cape line are two great ways to experience Norway and all of Norway, and do it all in a sustainable way. So congratulations on this evolution of the product, and I'm actually really looking forward to experiencing it myself very soon.
Thank you very much. You're very welcome.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.